call the meeting to order. Start by taking roll. Paul? Dean?
Here.
Bernie? Neil?
Here.
Courtney's here. Corey?
Aye. Here.
Dustin?
Here.
Amanda Engelsted's also here as an invitee. Awesome, thank you. All right, does anybody have any changes or additions to the agenda?
Madam Chairman, I need to add, or I'd like to add, an additional change order for the livestock building.
All right,
I think it's change order number 4.
okay, so go,
Madam Chairman, I would add, or I'd like to add just a short update on Lakeview Park. And do we want to add any discussion about filling, okay,
I think RFP I would put in there,
oh,
proposed.
yeah, I'd also like to add the RFP proposal for the Speedway for discussion.
okay. We don't have this broken out to new business and old business, so we'll do that next time, but, so I have all those just kind of at the bottom below after Dickinson Parks and Rec joint proposal. Is that acceptable? Okay, so we've got change order number 4, Lakeview Park discussion and request for proposal for the Speedway. Anything else?
Discussion as far as Fair Association and Park Board.
I think we could do that. We could give a quick update on the joint meeting we had on the 16th.
Yeah.
I would move to approve the agenda with the proposed changes.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second? Second. Okay, Dustin seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the October 7th meeting? And are there any questions or changes to those minutes? I wasn't present, but I reviewed the minutes and saw that Dustin got approved, so welcome, Dustin. Sorry I didn't get to tell you last time. If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
All right, get a
I'll
motion.
second.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right.
Do we need to approve minutes from our joint meeting on the 16th?
I don't know.
There's only 2 commissioners there.
I would, you had the quorums here.
What's that now?
I would, you had quorums here.
Okay. We didn't.
We didn't have-
Somebody sent out minutes. Somebody did.
From the joint meeting, I don't think we had
I
a
don't,
quorum.
I haven't seen the joint meeting minutes. I could have missed it.
Bernie? We didn't have a quorum at the joint meeting.
No.
Speaking of commission,
Yes, we did. That
Yeah,
night?
we were all sitting right here.
And I remoted in, I
Yeah, you
believe.
did.
That's right. It was just discussion. Okay, we're good then. Thank you.
All right, then we will move on to bills for approval, starting with the general fund. Looks like the total is $1,319.33. Karen, go through those.
Make a motion to approve the $1,319.33.
I'll second that.
All right, is there any discussion? If not, we will put it to a roll call vote. Paul?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
Bernie?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right, that will pass for the 131933. Moving on to the special project fund. There's only one bill for $12,962.50 for Willie Goat for canceled items. Anybody know what that's about?
Oh, we didn't cancel that, correct?
We did not.
We did not cancel that.
So this is the final payment?
Yes,
Okay.
it's been ordered. We should have hopefully in a couple months, we'll have that additional equipment here.
So I'll make the motion to approve the $12,962.50.
Okay, so it's just additional, the final pieces of equipment for Lakeview Park.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Corey made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion with that? If not, Paul,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Dustin,
Aye.
Bernie,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right. We will move on to, we had these two agenda items and I wasn't sure exactly what if the substance was different enough to keep them apart or put them together, but we might knock both these out or combine them and depending on what the discussion is. But first we have motocross discussion and DJ Meidinger.
Yeah, DJ's not here. Is Damon or Weston here? You guys want to step up?
You guys could come up too. I guess the whole point of this was just to introduce you guys to Damon and Weston. They actually were the ones to help me out the last 2 years through the motocross process. And then Alex is actually part of the potential speedway group. So there's no real update other than trying to figure out on your guys' side what the contract looks like for these guys and all that kind of stuff. So I'll leave it to them if you got questions for them.
Okay. I'll just tell you, DJ reached out to me, and one of his questions was, would the commission would consider leasing the motocross track separately from the speedway? Was one of the questions he had.
So here's the deal with the whole program out there currently. The insurance for that place, it doesn't make sense to separate.
Okay.
The general liability policy covers the whole facility for the year. It doesn't make sense for these guys to have their own GL policy. If Frankie wants to do a karting policy, that you're double covering and paying money that doesn't need to be spent. Basically, what it would just come down to one single lease, and then when these guys would host events, it's just that specific event that gets insured for that day. There's no point to waste money on multiple general liability policies for out there.
So,
Then would,
go ahead, Bernie.
like, would they sublease to these guys then, or how would that work?
No, it's not really a sublease. It's just their hosting event. So currently, the way it works is I have a lease for the whole facility. That is the only way financially it makes sense to do it. Because if you got to split piece by piece, well, then everybody has insurance. So our
Money's overlapping on expenses.
correct. And the insurance side of things is honestly probably the biggest cost out there. So if each group doesn't have to have it, all they would do is whatever association gets formed that's going to lease the facility potentially, they would hold the GL policy. If these guys host an event, all they say is, hey, you need to add this date for motocross, this date for this, and it's way more cost effective.
So, Brad, when you did events like that, did you have a written agreement with the other parties when you did that, or you just said, go ahead and
So I was a part of every one of them.
Okay.
When they hosted events, I was there. It's truly not separate, right? It's a group of people at that point in time.
so how would that look if, in fact, their group just wanted motocross and another group just wanted the speedway? How do we, I agree with you 100%, we shouldn't be duplicating liability, but how does it look when we potentially have three different entities wanting to run under one umbrella?
They're open to running with the other group.
We would rather run with the other group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes it
Okay.
easier. We only have 2 events a year.
Okay.
It's Saturday and Sunday, 2 weekends of the summer,
Okay,
and then that's it. So
Yeah, that's what I said. It doesn't make sense to separate. Like, the NDMA that comes to town, it's a traveling series, so it's 2 to 3 events every single year.
Okay.
So, and equipment-wise, I mean, they don't have a massive auxiliary of equipment, so they actually just borrow the stuff from the speedway side when they do host events. So,
Other than events out there, is it, I mean, is there like a club? Do you guys come out there and practice? And how does
So
that
the
work?
motocross side, there is, and that's partly why the general liability policy is so high, because it covers every single day, which includes, there's only supposed to be 3 riders out at a time. There's a big clause on what it looks like for practicing and stuff, so. That it, I guess?
That's all I have. If they,
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to do it that way, I'm fine with it. We got to get it figured out legally, right?
Correct, yeah,
We'd rather keep it all as one. It's easier.
yeah. Yeah, I guess Alex can speak on the few things he had.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Alex Braun. For those of you that don't know me, just wanted to provide a brief update in regards to the Speedway in itself. So a group of interested individuals did meet here last week, Tuesday, to discuss the next steps for forming a formal organization to operate the Speedway. This is an early but an important step in establishing a structured framework for the Speedway and to operate or to let it successfully operate for years to come. So I know this is a very brief update, but we just did want to come to you guys and let you know that that process has started behind the scenes, even though you guys probably haven't seen a ton of it yet. So that's really all I had for you guys this morning.
You'd be the Speedway component.
We'd be a part of the Speedway component, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep, working on a group.
Alex, how's your last name spelled?
BRAUN. I know we were asking about a lease, I think the last time that we had spoke, so that would be another crucial piece to see when that time comes.
Yep.
Anything else from me?
I guess on the lease portion too, I know there was concerns about the mowing and weed spraying. I can tell you all, it got mowed 1.5 times this year and it never was weed sprayed. So I am only saying what they're not gonna tell you guys. The next 2 years, that needs to be on the county. The weeds are out of control. The mowing wasn't done, other than what we did. So I don't think it should be their problem the first couple of years, because it's gonna take some time to kill everything off again. Questions?
No, I think we're going to have some more discussion, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Frank is going to.
Oh, hi, Frank.
Frank Klein. My question is more to this group here, and that is, what about the $25,000 go-kart track we built out there that's not being utilized? Are there plans to fire that up, or would that be a separate program between whoever wants to run the go-kart program and the park board, or would that be included under the umbrella of the other two? I don't know I haven't heard anybody say anything about go-karts, so. Is that something you're interested in?
I think that's too early of a discussion at that point in time. These guys have to figure out they have
Right.
to see the lease, they have to do
Right.
their stuff.
Well, I just want to see if it's even been brought up and mentioned, because, you know, we got the track sitting out there doing nothing.
Were there any go-kart events last year, Brad?
0. I can tell you,
Um,
the drop off from the go-kart world around here is immense. Financially, it didn't make sense to host events because it didn't even cover the insurance cost. The track that was in South Hart actually closed up this year as well. It was great during COVID, right? Nobody had nothing to do. That doesn't exist anything anymore. Nobody can get out there on a regular basis to do it. There's maybe 8 to 10 guys left. And if somebody wants to try to host an event, I think they'd be open. They have to cover the insurance costs at that point in time.
So people who do that, do they travel well? Do they not travel? It is strictly local
It
individual?
was strictly local,
Okay.
yeah, so. It's a great kart track. It worked very well for the 2-3 years that we did it, but it has immensely dropped off at this point in time, so.
Well, you're right, it has, and we did close 2 weeks earlier this year out there because the numbers dropped off, but a lot of the reason is there's no promotion at all going on as far as go-karts go. Nobody even knows we have a go-kart track around there, and, I mean, I offered to put up posters and do some stuff. I don't wanna do that.
You're saying that if the go-kart people would approach them to do an event, as long as they paid for the insurance, they could probably work.
Correct.
I
So,
mean,
so the way the insurance is, there's a general liability policy, and then each single event has its own coverage as well. So they would just have to come in. I think it's $400 and some just for a single event for the go-kart side of things. I mean, if somebody wants to cover that cost, I was tired of eating it myself, so I just said I'm not doing it anymore.
And then like the motocross, same question for the go-karts, is it just events, or do people pay memberships to bring their go-karts out there and just tool around, or is
They
that-
could, because in the general liability policy, it does cover all that. But that has to be a discussion with whoever's gonna do it. So the way the motocross side works, there is a yearly, pass, you could say, that they pay, and then they have access to the facility all day long. I can tell you, 2 weekends ago when I was out there, there had to have been 60 guys out there on the motocross track. If that's not for them available, they're gonna be in the ditches, they're going to be somewhere else.
And unfortunately, all the people with go-karts, there is no place else.
Yeah.
You know, if we ought to go to South Art, which is Wednesday night, and I already talked to those people, they're gonna fire up the track. And if we can get enough carts out there to make the thing viable, they'll keep running them on Wednesday nights like they've been doing. But there's gotta be, the word's gotta get out that we got a go-kart track up and running again.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even the one out here when Brad did it, who knew about it? I mean, I talked to people that had no idea we had go-kart races. As far as something to do, what else is there to do on Sunday afternoon if not at the lake? Really, not very much. So I think Sunday afternoon was a good idea. You had a good idea there, but it's just that we need to get the word out that we're still gonna run them. These go-karts are still sitting around town. I see ads practically every week on Facebook, people trying to sell them because we're not racing them. I mean, the last count I had, over 40 go-karts between, South Art, Belfield, Dickinson, that general area here. So if the word got out that we were gonna run them out there, people would probably dig them out of the weeds because, in all fairness, there were some people that were out there at that place track racing and they had a few disagreements and they just took them home and parked them because they were racing for free. That was the other thing about these go-karts, it was a racing for fun deal. So there was no money involved, you just paid $25 for a place to go racing and to help cover the insurance. That's what it was.
So if people were just out tooling around, is there a maintenance prep concept?
Not like the
Concept there.
Speedway.
Yeah, it's not.
You just go.
Yeah, it's not like the Speedway.
Okay.
It's a little bit of water and you're good to go.
Yeah. Once you get it watered and packed beginning of the year, unless you get a real downpour and it puts ruts in there where you have to go smooth those out, and even that isn't that bad. The track's only like 1/8 of a mile. I mean, I got a tractor and a blade. You just run around it a few times and smooth that out and you're ready to go again.
Okay.
It's not a big major thing like the track prep is a couple of good days of work out there to get that ready. This is not like that, so. Anyway, that's
Thank
it
you.
on the go-karts.
Thanks, Frank. All right, any other discussion on motocross or speedway? I think we did both of those ones. Okay. I don't think there's any action item at this point, but, right?
Right.
Not for that
Okay.
right now, no.
Let's move on to.
So are we gonna still put out this, request for proposals for that?
Yeah, that's on the bottom agenda.
Yeah, we added that.
Okay.
We can move on for now to Dickinson Parks and Rec Joint Project Proposal for new trail construction. Benjamin Ray?
Okay, just a little update. A couple weeks back, I guess, Bernie and I happened to be over visiting with Benjamin Ray over at Dickinson Parks and Rec. And he brought up we had a discussion about they'd like to potentially build some trails along the south side of Dickinson that would actually, it would cross State Street and eventually end up at the South Boat Ramp. Anyway, there is some grant money available. Of course, the road itself, or where the trail would be put, is actually Stark County right-of-way, as I understand it. But Benjamin and his department over there would be willing to, take the ball and run if we wanted to do a joint project out there and get a trail built out to that South Boat Ramp. So anyway, that discussion brought this next component. So this grant money, I think there's kind of a short fuse as far as the application period. Benjamin has engaged with SRF, who we're familiar with, I think did our comprehensive plan, and is also, I think we're working with them on our hazard mitigation plan as well. But anyway, they proposed a $5,000 fee to do the grant application and do some preliminary engineering, cost estimates for the trail. The grant application, it would be an 80-20. It's 80% federal funding, 20% local share. And that would probably Stark County would probably end up bearing the lion's share of that 20% because it's on our property. But that said, Dickinson Parks and Rec has expressed interest in sharing in the cost of this grant application with SRF. It's a $5,000 fee and contract with SRF, and I would, I'm looking to see if we can get some consensus from our board if we want to go forward with something like that. So,
I myself would support it. I mean, it's leisure activity. It doesn't cost the public anything to use it. I mean, they can walk their dogs, ride their bikes, do it,
it's one thing we really lack around here is good trail structure. This doesn't guarantee it'll get built because we don't know what the estimates of this whole project are going to be, but we'll never know if we don't go down this road. And of course, this grant money, who knows, but I have a feeling if we have it professionally presented by this group, we have good chances any to get some of that.
And they do
support.
a lot of grant writing over there anyway,
Yeah.
so they know what they're doing.
But absolutely no idea what the potential cost of the overall project would be.
At this point, no. Zero.
You
So
said
the 5,000 is our share, or 5,000 is split between us and the Park and Rec?
5,000 is split, 50-50,
So our exposure would be 2,500.
2,500.
Okay.
And did you say the $5,000 covers the fee and then something else, the initial
Yeah,
design? or-
along with, so this grant application will have to have some estimates and some engineering, proposals, for the grant application itself. So we should have a good idea what this thing, in a general ballpark, what this thing might cost once we get through this, so.
Who would you see as doing the maintenance on the trail then?
Well,
As
I
we get
view,
down the
I view
trail.
this as probably a Dickinson Parks and Rec. That would be the partnership that we'd form with Dickinson Parks and Rec in the future.
Pretty similar with Lakeview.
Yeah.
Okay.
We pay for the build, and they would end up maintaining it.
I assume it's like a paved, similar to the trail that goes along Villard up over the interstate
and
now.
I'm not entirely sure if they go cement or asphalt or whatever, but I think those type of things could be discussed at a later date. But but there's a lot of right of way probably to deal with and planning and.
Probably some right away with Burlington Northern or whatever.
And BLM too, with the
BLM, yeah.
lake.
Well, honestly, I think what they're talking about is mostly fee going all the way out there. It's county right of way. And whether or not we can actually put a trail in the ditch, I suppose we'll have to visit with our state's attorney about that or not. But anyway, they're basically going to do a feasibility study here as well for us here and find out what this can do for us. So that's what that's all about.
I'd make a motion that we proceed with this.
Has Dickinson Parks and Rec already approved their half, or are we contingent on them?
Speaking with Benjamin, he had good indication from his board that they were on board with this.
Should we wait for they prove theirs first, or?
Just make it contingent on theirs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second contingent on Park and Rec paying the other 2,500.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? Not, roll call vote probably for that, okay. Paul,
Aye.
Dean,
Aye.
Dustin,
Aye.
Bernie,
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Courtney votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Moving on then to change order number 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it up. We have a request from TWOS to do a change order number 4 in the amount of $1,931.07. This is the building permit fee from the city of Dickinson, who administers these. I'd like to get this approved and then go back to the city, because we were kind of told that the building permit fees were going to be waived, but we don't want to hold the project up. So this is all direct administrative fees to the city of Dickinson.
I'd make a motion to approve the change order.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the change order for the total 1931.07.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call again. Paul?
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Dustin?
Aye.
Bernie?
Yes.
Neil?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Corey?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Moving on to Lakeview Park discussion.
Just quick update. I drove out this morning. They've got the piers set for the actual playground equipment. It is not installed yet, but I suspect when they get the minute to do it, hopefully they can get that done yet this year. We'll see what happens. But we did order the additional equipment. I've got a couple of bids on picnic structure, and I'm gonna search out another bid at least, if possible. But we've kind of scaled it back, looking just for a steel structure over the top of that picnic area. I would like to probably hold off even thinking about trying to fund this until '26, and we can discuss it then. I think once we get through the actual playground installation and the additional costs that are gonna come about because of that, I think we're gonna be real close to our original budget number of $125,000. So, and knowing that, I mean, I think the structures thus far, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have it in our budget this year to even start planning or make any agreement with any contractors to get that done. So, anyway, that's just kind of where we're at there. I do have a couple bids, and once I get a third at least, I'll bring them back to the next meeting and we can discuss what they look like and talk about '26 potential build. So that's the update for now.
Where are we storing this stuff from Willie Goat that's coming in?
Well, hopefully they've got a spot for us out at the road shop. It should be smaller packages than the last one.
It can be stored outdoors.
Yeah, I suspect. But, and then hopefully an installation in the spring.
Okay.
It'd be bad if they couldn't be stored outdoors, right?
An outdoor playground
Yeah.
being stored outdoors.
And honestly, it's not a slam dunk that we're gonna actually install it out at Lakeview. We're gonna take a look at what it is. There's potential other places we could put this.
You can run it by the fairgrounds probably.
Yeah, potentially the fairgrounds or whatever. So we'll take a look at what it is actually and how it would fit in the grand scheme of things over at Lakeview and go from there.
A playground at the fairgrounds would be fantastic.
Agreed.
Okay. Thanks, Paul. Moving on, request for proposal for the Speedway.
Is that me again? Okay. Well, I worked on this with Neil somewhat here. We put together so I've handed to each of the commissioners and State's Attorney Engelstad a packet. I've got a draft of a public notice, and I've also got a draft of the actual RFP laying out requirements, timelines, so on and so forth. I don't know if any of you have had a minute to look at all this. Courtney, did you get one from me?
No, I didn't.
Let's see if I got it.
Dustin, did you get one?
Yep.
Okay.
Here. She's got it.
Okay.
I took Bernie's,
Go ahead.
that next one.
No, I put some timelines in there. I don't know, they may be a touch aggressive, but that's kind of my nature, so. We've been talking about this a long time, but I've got the initial date of November 14th is actually the RFP issued. That would hopefully give us enough time for notice. If the appropriate amount of notice, I would think that would probably work. Deadline for questions, November 26th. That's the day before Thanksgiving. That's Wednesday. And proposals due at our next park board meeting, December 2nd. And selection and negotiation at that next December meeting, and hopefully at least start date of January 1st.
I pretty much agree with the time frame here. My only concern is if we only get a look at the proposals on the second, because I agree we need to make a selection on the second, our December meeting. Is there any way we can sneak the deadline for proposals up so that the people on this board can review them before we come in? And again, I don't know what the time requirements are. I guess we're not necessarily spending money on this, so
Well-
does that still require the same time constraints?
So on the RFP, I've added Karen, I mean, these RFPs can be submitted via email. I've added Karen Richard's email and Bernie's email to it. So maybe you can forward the proposals as they come.
Either that or we'll have to have a special meeting a week later or something.
Okay.
I don't care, I'm just I agree fully 100%. Let's get this up and running and awarded.
And maybe we do that. The deadline's December 2nd. We have that opportunity. We can have those discussions, and then we'd have a special meeting thereafter, a week later.
I'd rather have it before, but later, but with Thanksgiving coming up, it's got.
Yeah, I just looked at the calendar. It's, we're closed the day after Thanksgiving, and the last day of the month is a Sunday, so.
So, yeah, we could do it that way, Joe.
And then actually issue the lease at a special meeting the following,
Yeah.
after, the week after the park board meeting on December 2nd. Is that what you're thinking?
I would be okay with
That
that.
would give us,
Just a couple, am I good with questions right
Yes.
now? So through that whole process, just because I have gone through it with the commissioners and stuff already, I don't know what your RFP looks like. I had to provide financial information, proof of insurance, all that kind of stuff. That isn't, dealing with these insurance companies isn't a 5-minute process. They actually have to come out. If they don't go with the same insurance company that I use, they have to come out, inspect the facility. I don't know if you're gonna get it done that quick.
okay.
So, just full transparency. I know what these guys are gonna have to go through.
Yeah, how about we do this? We set this schedule as is here, but if it needs an extension because of these factors, we can always add an
Yeah.
extension to this thing, I mean, what would hurt if the lease started on February 1 versus January 1?
It wouldn't. I know these guys are all open. I'm assuming they're the only ones that are actually gonna put anything in, so,
Yeah.
but,
Well, I think also the way I read the RFP, you don't have to provide insurance up front. So you could be, I'm assuming everybody would be kind of shopping prior to them submitting their proposal. And then if they were awarded the proposal, they're going to know pretty close what the premium is, subject to the underwriter's approval or whatever.
for sure. I know I had to prove that I was able to be insured, and that's, with the process for these guys, it's not as simple as just calling an insurance company. They send an adjuster out to check fencing, check bleachers. It's pretty intense process for motorsports insurance, so.
Valid, very valid point. Thank you.
So it's prepared, like I said, it hasn't gone through Amanda's office yet, but I guess if it meets the mustard over there, we can, I guess it's up for discussion whether we want to go forward with it.
Well, we pretty much have to.
I think so too.
The
Wanna make that
proposal-
motion?
I'll make that motion that we go forward with this,
I just got a question on the proposal date, though. Shouldn't it be like December 1st week, so we'd have them that day? Because otherwise you could still propose them on that date the
I
second.
thought I put 8 AM December 2nd, but
Yeah, but then it's blank. It's the first blush where, I agree. I think we change that to December 1st
okay,
at
5
whatever.
PM.
And the
that's a
business.
Monday, so that'll work.
And then the lease start date, if you want to tackle that right away, we could change that too if you want. But I'm fine with January 1 as written.
Yeah, I mean, that's the aggressive, I mean, that's the best case scenario is January 1, it's secured and done. But we can always, depending on how this whole process goes, we can always extend it out.
I'll second Bernie's motion.
All right, so there is a motion and a second to move forward with the request for proposals. I suppose that's subject to Amanda's approval, and the discussion that we had. All those in favor, is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Passes.
Just one question, Amanda, do you know what the notice requirements are on something like this? Okay, so we have enough notice out there, so everybody's got a chance at it, so. And we're gonna have to talk about publications, where are we gonna publish this other than the
Right.
Dickinson Press? I mean, is there some trade magazines that it can go into, or,
Our website?
our website?
Our website and social media.
Okay.
If you get me the information, I can put it out on the Southwest Speedway Facebook page too. That way
Okay.
it's out there.
I don't know what the appetite's gonna be out there from the public, but we don't wanna have the situation where people didn't know about it.
Right.
And, didn't, all of a sudden they come, it's last
And
minute.
it's all transparency.
Does
Yeah.
the park board have access to their Facebook account?
It is mine.
It's your account?
Come on up to the,
When the insurance people show up and they find deficiencies out there, who's gonna pay for bringing the track up to where it's supposed to be so it can be insured? Is that gonna be on the new people, or is the park board gonna fix what needs to be fixed up before they lease it?
Yeah, that's an unknown that we can deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want you to know there are some things out there that do need to be fixed. And if, as far as the due diligence of the park board, if there's an accident, they're gonna come back to you, or not gonna come back to those guys, so.
Do you have a comment on that, Brad?
Might as well just stand.
I was gonna say, just take the seat over here.
You're gonna get
The,
your.
the problems with the facility, every one of you are aware of.
Yeah.
I know Neil and Bernie both came out. I think you might have been out there when we met with twos and the different stuff. So the problems that are there, everybody's aware of. So, as far as the Facebook page, it is mine. I purchased it from the previous group when we took over, so it is our Facebook page. So,
so going back to that comment about the track itself, is it up to standard? It's.
so there is a bunch of fencing, which is the main catch.
That's crash fence or catch
The
fence.
crash fence in front of the main bleachers is literally ready to fall over. It has been for years. I can tell you I've came up here 6 times and told everyone. So it does need to be fixed. It's part of that whole project. The bleachers, underneath the bleachers is the rain runouts. Everybody's aware of that. So it's just the maintenance side of things that hasn't been done in 10 years that just needs to be taken care of.
And I
So-
remember seeing some of those costs to fix that bleacher issue. I think it was around $80K
I think it was even higher than
from
that.
Win.
Yeah, it's nothing that nobody should be surprised about at this point in time.
Other than the catch fence,
Catch fence, and then just honestly, all the fencing really. A lot of the fencing over the years, you can't not maintain that stuff. And it's just, there's some spots, the gates, it's just regular.
catch fence, you must have some sort of idea what that would cost to repair or replace? Do you have
Me, no.
Any idea?
The catch fence itself is fine. It's the dirt work around the catch fence that needs to be fixed. If it got pulled back and anchored, it would be just fine.
Okay.
And that is a part of the whole, I think 80,000, it was fixing underneath the bleachers, fixing the rain runoff problem, and then re-anchoring the catch fence.
Because that's all in the same area there.
Yeah,
And the
it's
rain-
literally
rain is
the,
part of the problem with the catch fence.
correct, yeah.
Brad, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
On this RFP, it says the park board seeks an operator who can provide professional management, quality racing events, financial stability, and community engagement while maintaining the facility to a high standard. That high standard, is there some sort of language specific
I can tell you everything that's
standard that you have that would make
everything
it more
that's been
clear?
done out there in the last 5 years is because I have a high standard. I have came with these exact problems over the years, and it can't be detrimental to that group.
I guess that's not what I'm asking. When I'm saying, like, when it says to a high standard, is there industry-specific language that would, that says something other than high standard, like a standard that you guys go by, so it's in the RFP?
When the insurance comes out, they inspect the bleachers, right? I know for a fact all the bleachers on pit side, or fan side, no, on the pit side, don't fall within any standards currently, so they actually can't be on the insurance policy. Our catch fencing out there is hands down above par for most speedways. Whoever originally built it did a very good job. The catch cable that's in them is actually, I think, a 1/4 inch larger than it actually needs to be. But
So question for you. So if you're a host a race out there, I mean, your safety standards are, according to, is there an association?
yeah, so like IMCA is the sanctioning body of, you could say the racing. They don't tell you how the facility needs to be. You sanction with them. They set a standard of what your insurance needs to be to cover the racers that show up. It doesn't have anything to do with the facility. That side of things is more around the insurance. So, and I can tell you, the way the track and facility is built, for somebody to hit the catch fence is almost, it'd have to be an act of God, because the track is built down in the ground, and most of them aren't that. They're level with most bleachers. So I wasn't concerned about it, but over the years, eventually it's just going to fall over if it doesn't get fixed. So, and the high standard is, I would just leave it at that.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't missing like an industry-specific standard.
Yeah, there's really nothing out there. I mean, it's a dirt track.
Sure.
So, and to be honest, we have one of the nicest facilities in the state. It just needs to be maintained. So the stuff that's been out there, the leaky upright tanks, all the stuff that I've done over the last 5 years is because that is a standard I wanted to uphold, because it is one of the best. So I think a little bit of money put into the facility and it could be phenomenal. I know there's a massive race that they could potentially host in June that is a massive touring series that goes all over the country. I would hate for them to commit to something like that without the repairs being done.
Thanks, Brad.
So that's a subject for another day.
Yeah.
Corey, you asked about the park board Facebook page?
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had one.
Was there one?
There's a fair association one.
association.
I don't know if there, what's that?
I don't think there's a park board.
guru, so.
Yeah, we do have a fair association one, but we're working on getting access to that yet.
Okay, is it just a matter of asking Lisa what the login is? I can do that.
And, yeah, they're working on it.
Okay, okay. All right, so yeah, it would be good to, I think we're still in,
Okay.
yeah, no, we did vote on it. We did vote on it.
On the RFP? I
Yeah.
believe we're
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be good to post this on
Yep.
the Fairgrounds Association.
What time did you want it? 5 PM on December 1st?
Yes, close business.
Got enough time for you to look it up at 8 AM on?
That whole
That's fine.
That's all we got going on.
15
that Monday.
hours.
Okay. All right, last on the agenda, I have update on the October 16th special meeting, do you call it that?
So we still haven't gotten any further than we did before we had the meeting.
Well, I thought we had a good discussion.
We did have a good discussion, I'm not denying
Yeah.
that, but I mean, time's running away from us. You know, you came into our fair board meeting, and, you know, Bailey's been taking care of everything, now she's getting a lot of phone calls about booking, she's been doing booking things, and some people said, why are we booking? Why wouldn't we wait for this person to come on board? It's like, if we have a chance to book, we gotta book. And now's the time to be booking, so we keep kicking the can down the road for this position, because we don't know what we want. I mean, I don't know what I presented, if that's got any value, or, you know, we were talking about going with the city. Benjamin Ray showed some interest, which I really, really like his idea of doing that. If, you know, we haven't visited with him any further to see just how intense he would be, but
Well, I did visit with Benjamin when I was discussing this plan on this trail business. I mean, I think we're on the same page as like, ultimately, there needs to be some involvement, whether it's the city or the park district, whatever. This whole idea of collaborating with all entities involved here, so everybody's on,
Yeah,
right?
Like I said, I'm more comfortable working with the park board, because you get somebody, we got one event that could go at either venue, where's the loyalty at that point, where's he gonna put it? You know, where that Benjamin Ray's got no loyalty to the Dickinson events, so I think that would be a better tie for us than,
I know that he's probably just kind of mentioned it to his board a little bit. I don't think there's been real serious discussions on his end here, but I mean, if there's some interest about possibly collaborating with them as far as,
but whatever we do, if it doesn't work, we're gonna set ourselves back 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, that was my point is, I think we need to look long-term on this. The first year might be a struggle, some growing pains, but, yeah, if there's interest from the, I don't know what the next step should be, Bernie, but if there's interest from Park and Rec, let's pursue it. If there's interest from the, city community and development, let's pursue it, see what works best for
Yeah,
us.
I'll visit more, I mean, if you wanna.
Yeah, and you're right, it's dropped. It's kind of lagged here a little bit, so.
So I have a question on this. I know we mentioned, since Lisa's left the organization, that Bailey's been taking phone calls. We also got,
It's not really.
we
her
gotta
job
also
description
remember
either, you
she's
know?
a full-time college student
Yes.
too. So we need something or someone
well,
to
once
step
again,
in.
the disconnect here.
support.
So, I mean, we got a little disconnect here. So technically, the Fair Association leases that property from us.
Right.
Okay. And I know what's gone on in the past, that our full-time employee basically ran the Fair Association and did all the planning. Where's Fair Association on this?
And I do see where the Fair Association steps in and says, you know, we have a lot of volunteers that run the organization. To get more volunteers is tougher. I agree, Southwest North Dakota, a lot of people are working, and they're working long days and long hours, and it's hard to commit with the family and other
Agreed.
things. So we did have that. We did show a vested, you know, that we were vested into them by providing an employee to help with that at some point. We currently have a part-time employee that I don't think it's fair to her to be taking on these roles and responsibilities, as she is also a full-time college student.
I totally agree.
So we, I believe as a commission, I don't know if bringing on additional headcount is the answer, but what can we do to help them fulfill some of the positions that or the roles and responsibilities that we were doing in the past? So, when the last person exited, we just pretty much, it was done, right? And we expect Bailey, I don't think we expect Bailey to do it, but I think that's the perception.
One thing that needs to happen is there needs to be clear expectations here. I mean, I guess if this board's good with us giving the Fair Association a full-time employee to run their organization, we need to be good with it here. Because I think that just happened, kind of just happened. I don't think there was ever any directive from this board that was supposed to happen.
But I mean, Lisa did have that energy and knowledge and involvement with different organizations where she just took it over.
And I don't
Right
think it has
along.
to be a director's position at all.
I think short term, I think there's some individuals out there who would help bridge the gap. Just to say, hey, would you help us on a per hour fee or a per event fee until we get this position created and filled? I think there's individuals out there who would be willing to do that, which would totally help Bailey in her time challenges that she has. So I would like that as part of the discussion as well because even if you started advertising today, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think that's a
2-3
better
months
discussion.
before-
So, we've.
Well, I mean, but there's a different, I mean, I think the Fair Association has a completely different idea of the control. I mean, Frank, are you the new chairman? Yes. Well, come on up. Like I said, technically, we lease those grounds, and the operations of that facility is on the Fair Association. And I was at your meeting, and you guys you're taking plans, and I don't know where Bailey's fitting in on this whole scheduling of things and so on and so forth here. But, I mean, like I said, I mean, we got two entities doing the same job the way it sounds to me.
Well, somewhat, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Sort of contact that everybody has though.
Yeah, I think she's been doing a great job of what she's been doing so far, but, you know, she's a full-time college student. We can't expect her to drop her studies to go run around after us. I mean, it's incumbent upon us to get this new person on board as soon as we can,
can't ignore
because,
the fact that people are wanting to book and they're calling and they're making, and give her a good thank you or whatever we can do for taking that role on top of everything else she has.
100%. I mean, yeah, Bailey's not the problem. That's,
No.
she's not, definitely
And
not the
people-
problem.
The people that are wanting to rent the facilities are not the problem. Right now, we're the problem.
I mean, is there anybody out there hanging right now because of the uncertainty what's going on of whether or not they feel they're being serviced to schedule an event for next year?
we are going to be going to, 2 conventions in the month of November. And then we're gonna be meeting with the different vendors that we're gonna be hiring to come in here, so that's what I'm trying to do is, our last meeting, we discussed the dates. And then we have a regular calendar of events where we have the 32 events on that we had last year. So the main one that we brought people in for was the Kids Fair. So when we go to Billings, the 11th to the 14th, and then down to Huron for the 19th to the 22nd, first, whatever it is there, we're gonna be meeting with all the people that we are familiar with. Some we have had here. Brittany will be there also.
Nice if we would've had a director by then.
Yeah, that would have been the ideal situation. We
coordinator
could
or
have
whatever,
introduced this
but
new
it's-
person.
That's hindsight anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
How full is the calendar for 2026 now?
Pardon me?
How many events are on the calendar for 2026 already?
We are gonna be discussing that at our next meeting. I told Bailey to see if she could dig out I had the sheets from last year, dig that out again, and then contact those people. Like, a lot of them are locally, you know, like the barrel racing and some of that
And
arena.
is a
type.
lot of it events that they have like a 3-year term, so that it's anticipated that they're gonna have their event again next year because they had it there this year, or is it like we've already negotiated this contract and
We
this-
haven't, right now, as of now, we haven't negotiated anything.
We just got the one the dog people
okay.
that are coming back again.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's, your local groups that are using it, your
Right.
barrel racers, your horse club. I'm sure the, mounted shooting is gonna be there again.
So,
So I get what
So
Paul
I
you're
guess
saying,
one
Paul.
thing on this-
With these events, I mean, right now, I know the discussion is kind of swayed a little bit. I would recommend that with Bailey, we assign the task to her that she was hired to do, right? And not put any additional task on her.
agreed.
And so she doesn't, I think she is taking on this stuff because maybe she feels she has to or she wants to. But I don't think it's fair to her or us to just assign all these additional tasks to her. So while she's a full-time student.
And I'm not dragging my feet on this. We need to hire this event coordinator. Who that person works for, I think, needs to get settled here. I think this person needs to work for the park board. I've proposed that the park board take over complete operations of that facility, and this coordinator take care of those events. And the Fair Association does their county fair and their kids' fair, and
That's the way it should be.
And we block out a time. The fair lease should not be for the entire year. It should be for that block of time from the county fair to their kids' fair, and let them run that and do that, and let the park
So now,
board.
if somebody calls Bailey, who should she refer them to?
Oh, we need to get somebody hired. I agree with you 100%.
So now do we just
In the
let these
interim,
people hang
in the
lim-
interim.
Yeah, but do they just hang in limbo until we hire somebody in a month or 2 months? Or does she put them towards Frank, or where does it go?
We just asked that if there's anybody hanging in limbo. The answer
Well, right now
was
there
no,
isn't, but who's
so-
to
There
say?
isn't right
That's
now,
because the
but-
phone calls have been going to Bailey and she's been taking care of it.
I think that we need to make the decision who's going to be in charge of scheduling out there as far as, is it the park board or is it the Fair Association? Who's going to be in charge of that facility?
Be the park board.
Okay, so the park board is. Okay, so, I mean, I suppose in the interim here, they could come right up to that podium and try to schedule something, and we can start hammering
So
out
they
a
gotta come in
schedule.
just on a park board meeting? They
I would
just
think
can't
so.
come in-
I mean, in the interim.
They can't come in and say, you know what, do you have these dates open, or, I mean, I don't wanna lose anybody because we're procrastinating.
They could come to you.
My discussions
They could
with.
Go to Bernie. Bernie's the guy.
Dustin, did you have a
Yeah,
thought?
well, I guess I was just gonna say, typically how it's run is you get, if you had whatever weekend last year, you got first right of refusal for this year, so part of the schedule is already set. There are some, like the Purina Dog Trial, that's already, that was contracted for 2 years. The 4-H councils, I think, on the 3rd year of their contract. So, I mean, there's a few things that are out, and then, of course, the Rough Rider Commission and things like that. I mean, so part of it is just kind of rinse and repeat, but, you know, if we've got additional requests, and I don't know if they come to some person and one person brings it here would be a better task, or,
But those were contracts with the Fair Association, not the Park Board.
yeah.
The
They're
discussion.
two different entities, just so we all know. They're not the same.
Right.
I'm gonna throw out an idea. I'm gonna suggest that Commissioner Marsh, Commissioner Claris, expedite conversations with Park and Rec and the city of Dickinson. And I will forward a name that has been mentioned to me about just working intern, about trying to get some of this stuff done until we have a permanent plan, permanent replacement, permanent position filled.
Great,
Okay.
sounds good. Is that a motion or that's just a suggestion or what is it?
I can make it a motion. It was a suggestion, but I will make it a motion, just to get some action going.
Now it's marching order.
All right, we have a motion. I'm not gonna repeat it.
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion passes.
What I have done is, to take some of the load off of Bailey, I have told her that to put my name and number down there also. So like she told me basically she comes to work at 4. Well, so there's, so between 8 and 4, who's gonna be,
Okay, well,
you know, taking the
Hopefully
calls?
that'll
I
be-
said I would do it.
Okay.
And then I've been in communication with Tara from Heartland. That's where we usually book our people through, so she knows the situation out here, so she doesn't keep sending stuff to Lisa who isn't here. So,
yeah, I get it.
All right.
Appreciate
Sounds
that,
good.
Frank.
Thank you.
Spring. All right, the next meeting is December 2nd. Motion to.
I have another question.
Yes.
So there's still paint in the building down at the fairgrounds? Can that freeze or should we put that into the, cause we keep some heat going on in the, restrooms? Should we move that paint into there? It's just for touching up,
I'd visit with Wayne on that, in the short term and
Okay,
get it
well,
resolved.
Yep.
That way it's
Yeah,
done
thank you. I
properly.
didn't- I
Yep,
didn't know.
yep. Good point, though.
Before you guys adjourn, I'm just looking at this RFP, and I did clarify with Brad. I want you guys to all remember that you don't own the Southwest Speedway name. There was a big thing that came up a couple years ago where it was, I'm gonna let Brad explain it, but just in case that has some, we're not gonna be able to advertise with Southwest Speedway, and whoever wants to potentially lease this has to understand, I think, that unless they go through certain steps, they're not gonna be able to use the Southwest Speedway name as advertising, which I think can be potentially a big deal.
Okay, so the previous group before we took over had re-upped the trade name Southwest Speedway. That ended this year. I didn't go after it because I knew we were done at the end of the year. So that left it open to whether you guys wanted it or the lease needs to say Rough Rider Motorsports Park. Because that's what it is. You're renting the whole facility. Southwest Speedway is just the name that the racers know for the last.
Yeah, that's how I knew it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And my point
Correct.
is that could potentially be a big deal, because if they don't have the opportunity to use Southwest Speedway, it could hurt advertising.
Correct, yeah. So, and that's all it is. That's why I didn't go after it, because in the end of the day, I knew I wasn't going to keep going. If they wanted to go after the trademark name, it's not that hard to do.
And
So
who
then the-
coined it Rough Riders Motorsports Park?
I think that's what the facility's called, isn't it?
The whole facility with the motocross and the speedway and stuff is,
That's what the signage all says, I guess. I don't know that answer.
so now there's that sign that's laying behind the, building down there.
I did see that when I went and picked my water truck up. That's a beautiful sign, huh?
I don't know what it says though, does it say?
Rough Rider Motorsports Park.
So I mean, we should someday put that up.
So I know that where the original sign was, they didn't want it there, but I know Lisa was working on the property to the north. They were open to it. It was just figuring out the legalities of everything.
Okay, so the request for proposal needs to be updated to reflect the current name or the actual name.
I also think it's something we need to maybe put in there unless the county wants to look at purchasing that trademark, because that, if the next group thinks they're gonna be able to rely on the Southwest Speedway name for advertising, that is not a sure thing.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Because I could buy it and say no.
Correct. So that, I didn't do it because I wanted the next group to take it over. When you make shirts and do all that, you know, you don't want to have to go through a process of doing that. So I didn't want to do a 5-year term and then have some type of turmoil around it, so.
Well, I think it's important that you brought it up, Amanda, just so it can be said in public forum, but our motion was subject to Amanda's approval, so I think we can go ahead and, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, we don't need a new action item, but yeah. I
Okay,
think that's
thank
good
you,
to
guys.
talk about. Thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Almost right on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
I thought it
Okay,
was-
so it's 9:02. We will start our county commission meeting at